Hey friends, how you doing? Welcome to the Joy of Pouring and the resin episode, the ultimate resin episode. Big shout out to everybody that was waiting in the live chat right now. Thank you so much. Apologies, you can hear the tap running in the background. I'm just getting some warm water in the sink just to warm up the resin, because resin likes to be used at a warmer temperature, and it's gone a little bit cool here at the moment. So excuse me for 1 second. We're a little bit behind here today. But boom, there you go. And apologies again, the orientation is locked in this fashion. I don't know why. I've updated the phone now. I've made sure the phone orientation isn't locked on my phone. But if I move the phone this way, orientation is locked, rotate the device back. So I'm not sure if it's even going to work. So unfortunately, that's just the way it's going to go. So a quick shout out to hello everyone there. Janice, oh bless you. Janice Lanston, hi Jan Bean. Jude is in the live chat. Danielle, hi Danielle. Linda is in live chat. Laurie, hi Laurie. Hi Jody. Oh, bless your hearts. Thank you so much for joining us. So, Vanna, we've got a crazy work schedule that obviously got really delayed where we were both sick with COVID for about a month. So she's going to be in the live chat, and she's going to come in a second and relay any questions when we actually start to get down to the business and everything like that. But hi, this little piggy. Hi guys, how you doing? Hi Gail again. Hi old guys. Thank you so much for joining us. So a big shout out, hellos. First of all, let's say if you're watching this show back, please subscribe to the channel and then give us a thumbs up. If you subscribe to the channel, you will be able to give us a thumbs up. You'll be able to comment, but you'll also be able to interact in the live chat that's happening right now when we do our live shows every other Saturday. So that would be great. And if you feel so inclined, not that we're doing it for the money, but it's ever so nice to receive a little occasionally. In the bottom right hand corner of where you do the live chat, sorry I moved the camera, and it's I'm trying a new camera position, but unfortunately it's attached to the table, so if I hit or jog the table it moves the camera a bit, so we're still trying to figure out the best way to use the studio. Anyway, bottom right hand corner there's a little $sign in the live chat. If you feel so inclined, you can click that and that will take you to a little secure page of different denominations of stickers and super chats where you can write little messages in it, and it's a way of supporting us and supporting the channel, helping us out a little bit, buying materials, and more importantly helping us with the shipping costs when we give things away to people. So there you go. Thank you ever so much. Big shout out to Christine. I can just see is in there. Christine there. Hi there. Hi from Skitchbean. Hi there, Skitchbean. That's a great name. I love it. Anyway, so welcome to the show. And the 10, I've got really, I could have labeled this a little bit. Oh, Heather, bless your heart, darling. I can click a little heart on that straight away. So there you go, guys. There's an example of a super sticker. Thank you, Heather. You shouldn't have, darling. You're absolutely very, very generous and very kind. Thank you. Anyway, so it's the 10 best tricks and tips to get a perfect, flawless coat of resin. And we are finishing off. Let me just grab it. Sorry. We are showing you how we finished off last week. We showed you how to make the double-sided sun catcher. Here we go. And if you missed it last week, please watch the show last week. But I'll tell you very quickly, this is a 1/2 inch thick piece of MDF board. And because it's 1/2 inch thick, as long as you prime it both sides nicely, it doesn't warp. And we showed you last week how to pour on one side and then mask it up and pour on the other side. And this week we're showing you how to get these beautiful, flawless coats of resin on both sides. So, oh, there we go. Let me just hang that back over there. Bingo. So, Kathleen Solomon, thank you so much for joining us, darling, and thank you so much for sending that sticker. That's so amazingly kind of you. Thank you so much. Can I like it? Hang on, let me see. I don't, on the one Heather sent, there was a little heart I could heart, but I'm going to heart you. Thank you so much, Kathleen. That was so very generous of you. Thank you. Okay, so the 10 tips Okay, and I'm going to put this, I'm going to update the detail section of this video so they're all in there, but I didn't want to give it all away straight away, obviously. But the 10 tips, okay, and I'll go kind of slow if you want to write them down now, but like I said, I'll put them in the description of this video, of this live video, so they'll be there for you to get at a later date. So you don't need to necessarily write them down now, okay, but just go back and check the details just after the show. I'll update it pretty quickly. But the 10 best tips, okay, number one, if you're working in your studio or if you're working in a room in your house or something like that, okay, the first rule I go through, oh, Janice, Jan Bean, thank you so much, darling. Oh, bless your heart. I'm going to give you a, oops, no, I'm going to give you a heart for that. Thank you so much, Jan Bean, bless your heart. Oh yes, and we can just have a quick look right now. What's on the wall, Frosty? These are some of our pieces that are on the wall and are available right now. So if you see anything that you like, ding, 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 please send us a message and we can work you out a fabulous deal for anything you're seeing on the wall behind you right now. Thank you, Heather, for that little tip. Anyway, so the number one rule, first rule. Okay, let's get on with it. And how many minutes are we in? Oh. Sorry guys, need a drink. Okay, so number one rule is dust and then vacuum, okay? Absolutely, like dust and vacuum, dust and vacuum it like it's never been dust and vacuumed before. Move all the furniture and dust and everything like that if you work in a room or if you're in a studio like this. Yeah, vacuum and dust the hell out of it. Okay, and then the second rule, or rule number 1.5, is then go and dust and vacuum the hell out of it again. Okay, it's really important to get rid of all of the dust and dandruff, stuff like that, especially if you've got fur babies like we do. And when I was resining in our house, in our spare bedroom, dust and vacuum the bejesus out of it. Anyway, so, and then the number two rule is cover all of the surfaces that you are going to resin on. Obviously, you want a nice, beautiful, flat, level surface, but then cover that with, and I'm going to cover it when we get on with the resin, with a trash bag like this, because we don't want to get resin anywhere we really don't want to use it. Okay, so tip number 3 is zero air movement. Now, I know they say use resin only in a well-ventilated area. Yeah, that's great if you've got like a beautiful hermetically sealed spray booth that's got a fantastic HPAC filtration system, so you know the air's moving but there's no dust in it at all or anything like that. If you've got air movement, you're going to kick up whatever dust you may not have got with rule number 1. So basically the first thing I do is zero air movement. In my studio here, the door is shut, the window is shut, the fan is now off, so we've got zero air movement to possibly a bit of dust that we didn't get when we vacuumed and everything like that. Number 4 is with a mist bottle, and we're going to do this right meow. You mist the air everywhere like this. So what this does is gets rid of any possible bits of dust or whatnot in the air right now. It's grabbing it all right now, all the minute particles, and it's dragging it down, and now we've got a really lovely, clean, almost, you know, perfect kind of environment to start doing this resin. Okay, now I'm going to go through the tips and then I'm going to do the show and tell from the resin and the pause last week. We're going to get on with showing you how to tape up a piece and we're going to do it. But when we start actually resining, that's when I'm going to put the mask on. So there's not going to be a lot of chitty chat really, because I'm going to be very muffled. But I'm going to try to kind of explain to you, you know, how to get this perfect resin finish and how I get this resin finish. So that's number 4. Number 5 is temperature, as I've just said. Temperature wants to be at least 20 degrees C. Now 20 degrees C, I believe, is about 21, 22 is about 70 or so Fahrenheit, I believe. That's the air temperature it wants to be in here. We're a little bit below that in here, but that's why I've put the resin in some warm water just to warm it up, because when you actually mix resin together, it generates its own heat, so it will be fine, okay? So that's number 5, is the temperature must be at least 20 degrees C, which I believe is 21, 22 is 70 Fahrenheit. Number 6 is, this is a really important one. You've got to wear a mask, okay, guys? Now, you get these from Home Depot, or I get these from my local paint store. Now, the really important part about this mask is the filters. These filters have got to be, there's no substitute, got to be for organic compounds, because that will filter out the fumes that the resin makes when you mix it up. Now, I use magic resin, and I'll show you it in a minute. It's just warming up, as I said. It even says low odor, it's totally safe to use. Even if resin says that, it isn't low odor and safe to use without a mask, okay, guys? It's a chemical reaction when you mix the two components. Now, the vapors that are released have got a bit of a weird smell, but they're very, very toxic. So you've got to wear a mask, okay, guys? That is number 6. Number 7 is how much resin should we use? Now, one of those little, here we go, let's just show you. Bingo, bingo. Well, let's actually show you this one. These are the dried results from Vanna's pour last week, and then I resined it for her. And look at that. Pretty beautiful, hey? But yeah, this is about an 8 by 8 inch piece of MDF board. 8 by 8 is 64 square inches. Now, of resin is absolutely perfect to cover this nice and to the point of excessively. You see if I can show you. It's got this lovely kind of almost dual edge to it, you see? And we've got no pullback on the edges. It's just absolutely really gorgeous, okay? So 2 ounces covers this absolutely beautiful and gives you enough to drizzle around the edges, and this is what helps us get that beautiful kind of dual finish, okay? So that's the rule number 7, is the kind of how much. So 64 square inches, 2 ounces, so do the math, just multiply it up, and there you go, that's how much resin you need for bigger or smaller pieces. So a 4x4, I would use 1 ounce, okay? Number 8 is, oh, and I just mentioned it, obviously, number 8 is the drizzling of the edges, and you'll see this when I start to mix and start to do this and everything. And you hear me go, oh, this is the drizzling, muffled through this. I don't know, can you hear me when I talk like that? I don't know. But anyway, that's how it's going to be, guys. But that's going to be at the end. Anyway, number 9 is we need a torch, one of these. This is a little brulee torch. And this is essential to just, after we've poured all the resin out, we torch the resin because that gets rid of all the little tiny bubbles that are in the resin. It also warms the resin up a little bit more and helps it give that beautiful glass-like, mirror-like finish where it's just absolutely beautifully flat and gorgeous. Now, yeah, number 10, tip number 10, oh, excuse me, is if you have one, I would strongly suggest, is getting yourself a tote, because after, here she is, hi darling, hang on a second, wait, don't move, cover your phone up the other way. There we go, just misted Vanna and the air, because she just came in, bingo. Vanna, as I said, she's working, she doesn't want to be on camera right now because she's in her work clothes, or just want to come on camera. Oh, she's going to come and say hello. Hi. So Vanna's going to man and give me any questions that I may have missed already, okay? Sorry, Vanna, it's a bit of a tight squeeze. Trying, as you can see, trying a different layout so it works a little bit better. But the damn phone is stuck in portrait again. I don't know why. Anyway, when we're finished resining, if you've got a tote like this, this is the great top tip to stop any little bits of dust or anything falling in your resin, is you cover your pieces like this, and then, you know, literally next to nothing can go in there. All I do is I spray it out first, and with a nice clean microfiber, give it a wipe out, so there's no dust in it, and we're ready to go. So that's all the chatting and the top 10 tips. So let's just do some of the show and tell from last week. I'm just going to move some of these bits out of the way here. So there we go. This is Vanna's piece from last week, okay? Yes, it's gorgeous, Vanna. Yeah, I know. So let's just take the tape off the back, and I'll just show you, how easy it is to take the tape off the back. It really is no big deal. And this is a piece that I already resined the other side. So here we go, we just pull it off nice and gently, and Oops, just because this tape has been on just a little bit longer. Usually I would have pulled it off straight away, or as soon as the resin had started to cure, I would have pulled it off. But I wanted you guys just to see how easy, he says, it comes off. But more importantly, just so I can then show you the two edges and you can just see how pretty it actually is. So a second, let me just get onto this. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Now, this bit, you see where I tape right up to the edges? So it's nice and easy, you just grab this little corner bit and just gently pull it away. Da, 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 da. And then when we get it to the edge here, you just pull it right to the edge and you start to pull it away. Da, 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 da. See what actually would be easier would be rather than me holding it up like this for you guys. I will flip the camera down. So there we go. Da, 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 da. Now, if I move it around this way, oh, I think it might work. It might be working. Yay. Look at that. It's giving us landscape, is it? Has it made the picture go sideways now?
Mine will have a delay. I'll tell you in a second.
Yeah, tell me in a second. Oops. Let's just get it straight. There we go. Cool. Okay, excellent. So maybe it's a little bit easier and bigger. But so let me just get to this bit now. So we're just pulling the tape nicely to the edge, okay, guys? And then just gently pull it away from itself, from the side that you have been taping up, okay? It's important to do this because otherwise you can get tiny little bits of the tape just left, see? Oh, here we go. Just got to make sure that it's in focus. But you see, I'm pulling it away from the edge and it's just giving us this absolutely beautiful finish. And let's just do these last little bits. See, pulling it away from the edge. See, now I should have just given it a little bit more. Gently a pull. Oops. So we just want to, again, pull it away from the edge. Here we go, just like this. And you see, pulling it away from the edge, and we get all the little bits. Here we go, and we get that beautiful finish to the edge, where it goes all the way around. And there we go, there's the other side. I shan't bother pulling the rest off. But there we go. There is the reinvented sun catcher with the bloom on one side that I did. And then Vanna's gorgeous bloom. So there you go, Vanna. Excellent. So we are going to now just show you what we're going to pour. This is a pour I did. As you can see, it came out rather nicely, and I put a coat of resin on it. The back of it's taped up. I haven't resined this side yet. But what I wanted to show you was that, where are we? Right on the edges somewhere. Here we go, right here. See if I can pick it up. There we go, bingo. You see there's a thumbprint of some schmutz or something there that stopped the resin going on that edge there. And if you see it on another edge here we go, these edges here. Let me get the light on it.
Contaminant.
I've got a bit of a contaminant on there and there wasn't quite enough resin. So I'm going to show you how we can re-pour over this and get rid of all of those little edge bits that weren't so perfect. That's the first thing we're going to do. And then here we go. Here's a nice piece that I resined up. So there's one side of the sun catcher done. Now what we're going to do is, now I've left this tape on a little bit longer, so I hope it's not going to be a real super duper pain in the butt. But we're going to pull it off and I'm going to show you how to tape up this beautiful side now that's freshly resined. And we're going to resin on this side. So we need to expose this side obviously first. So let's just gently take the tape off. And as you can see, even though it's been on for a good long while, this yellow tape is of such good quality, the glue is of such good quality, it hasn't affected the pour underneath it at all whatsoever. Now there's a bit of a thick edge here, and I'm going to show you how we can get the tape off with a bit of a thick edge here. Now, let me just put this here. Let me just go in nice and close for you guys. Oops. You know about me wanting to get a nice straight shot for you guys. It drives me up the wall. Anyway, so what we're going to do is, again, we pull it all away from the edge first, to the edge first. Okay, so just gently grab this. Okay, now we're going to all pull it together in one because it's a little bit thick and there were some drips there. If you pull it all together in one, gently, excellent, and then we'll get it to the point, oops, where it's just on that thick edge still. So what we need to do is just, there you go. Gently waggle it from backwards to forwards, you know, up and down. And that thin little edge that was still holding it on there will break nicely. And as you can see, swing, absolutely gorgeous, perfect edge to the piece and then to this side. So let's just do that again. Sorry guys, but this is what we have to do because we're gonna show you how to tape up the other side now. Here we go, let's just get this bit, get that bit. Are there any questions, Vanna, or is everyone pretty happy?
Yeah, there was just a question about what kind of tape, and one of the beans answered it right away.
Yes, there we go. It's the yellow frog tape. There we go. Thank you, guys. So we're just going to, again, gently pull it up, get it to that thick edge, just move it a couple of times. There you go. Just separates beautifully. Do the same here. Da, 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 da. Here we go. Just get that little bit of schmutz off that edge. Now we're going to do the same on this side. It's not quite so thick on this side, so it should just maybe 1, 2, bingo. Now the last one. There we go. And rather than kind of use your finger now, I find it best if you just kind of use your thumb
Roll it.
and roll it. There you go. So you're not going to actually damage the, well, there's no less chance of you damaging your pour underneath. Okay. Bingo. Apologies, guys. I know it's not that exciting actually watching me do this, but if, you know, you're serious and you want to learn, and I'm serious about teaching you guys how to do this, every step of the process is, you know, quite vital. You know, I'm sure people might have opinions and say, oh, you know, you could do this and avoid that, which is fantastic and great. But this is the resin video that everyone's been asking for a long time. So this is how I do it. And there we go. Our Vanna's been peeling hers off. So there you go, guys. Look, you see, let me show you. Beautiful, perfect edge to the resin. Absolutely, just lovely. So how do we now tape up this side? So we went over this in last week's show, but it doesn't take me very long. So if you want to watch last week's show, that would be great because that's showing you how to do the resin, how to do the pours and then mask up the other side. So as long as this is up, let me make sure this is in frame. So we want to go right up to the very edge, guys, leaving the smallest of gaps. So, and the way we make sure we've got it perfectly is if you can do this on the edge and then you're actually pulling up the tape, then we've got it a bit too close. But as you can see, that was just absolutely beautiful. So we're going to go and do that on this edge too. Nicely in frame, Vanna, yeah?
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you, sweetheart. Oh, there we go, guys. Okay, again, just test it with doing that edge. Yep, no, not pulling the tape up, so that's perfect. And now this edge. Again, just testing the edge. No, perfect. And now that, oh. Okay, let's do the last edge. So, it's going to make it right up to the edge of the resin there beautifully. And there we go. So let's just test it again. No, not pulling the tape. So that's pretty much perfect. Okay, now what we do is just like a present, we push these two edges in, like wrapping a present, we push these two edges in first, like that. I hope that's in focus. And then we push this edge down, down. Try not to move the table too much because it's shaking the camera, I can see it. Oh, we've got to work out a better spot for the camera, I think, Vanna.
We do.
Yeah. Is it shaking a lot? And really? No. I'm sorry, guys, if it is. Please let us know, and I'll do my best to stop. But there we go. Oops, let's just cover this, and I just saw a tiny little spot I missed. So there we go. Okay, so the next bit. If you're using this stuff, which I believe is 1.5 inches, Vanna, isn't it? I think so. If you leave just a slight overlap gap like this, you can be as economical as you can with this stuff. I mean, I've even got the camera on a little bit of foam block, hoping it would dampen the movement, but because it really gives the best view because you're straight over the top and it's great.
It's not wiggling. You're doing great, Si.
Okay, cool.
It's a very sturdy workbench.
Yeah, right, so there we go. Anyway, so all the edges beautifully taped up, and what we're just going to do is just run our fingers around the edge here. Now, best thing we need to do is just give it a clean, like that. And this is just a nice clean microfiber with some water on it. Then a nice clean brand new microfiber, just to gently wipe it, because it won't leave any bits of lint or anything like that, because we don't want those on our piece that we're about to resin. So there's that one. Now, when we're going over this piece, because this resin is already cured now, because it's been a few days, this is what we have to do, is get some sandpaper. Forgot to get that out, sorry guys. This is 80 grit. Oh no, sorry, isn't this 120 grit? Okay. Now, I'm going to do this in here very, very carefully.
Put it under a cloth.
Oh yeah, that's a really good idea. Because we need to scratch it, basically. We need to rough it up. So when we pour the new coat of resin on the top of it, it has something to actually bind to. If we would pour resin straight on the top of this, it won't actually stick, it bubbles, and then it could even separate. So we need to rough up the edges a little bit, okay? So I would usually do this outside, which I'm gonna go and just step outside for a second and do, rather than show them. Well,
you can put a cloth over it, it's fine, you won't make any particulate.
There we go. So that's a good idea, Vanna, thank you. Vanna's trick. Let's put a cloth over it, and then we've got the sandpaper. Now let me actually hold it. So we're going to do this. Okay, guys? And again, this is a fantastic top trick.
Oh, you could wet sand as
well. Oh yeah, wet sand as well. Someone just said, I guess.
Bot bean.
Bot bean, fantastic idea. Linda, yeah, well done. Bot bean, yeah. Le chat bot. With some boots. So there we go, guys. That's a fantastic top trick from Vanna. I didn't even think about this. I usually just go outside and then wipe it. But there we go. We've got some nice scratches on there. Roughed it right up. And then with the other side of the cloth, we can now just wipe it off. So there is no dust, because the dust from epoxy resin is rather carcinogenic, and we don't want that at all anywhere near us. So then we can put the rag straight in the water there, and we can rinse it out. So I'm just using again, oh sorry guys, just using again the super clean brand new microfiber just to dry it off. And there we go. I guess you can see now all the little scratches and everything on it, and that's going to provide a great surface to actually re-pour over. Now, 1 second, thank you very much. Oh, and how could I forget? Huge shout out, let me do this. How do I do this the other way? With a heart. Huge shout out to fluidartco and this little piggy. Thank you so much, guys. We love you here. Thank you so much for your love and support. Couldn't do this without you. Bless your heart.
We had so much FOMO watching all the PORCON videos and seeing all the photographs, and we're super sorry that a bunch of you got COVID. We were feeling ya because we were recovering from COVID.
Yes.
I hope none of you got that sick.
Yeah, it was an awful kind of thing. We were so FOMO'd about not being there, but
we were sick.
It was just as well. We didn't plan to go because we were so sick from the festival that was only the weekend before. We would have been the carriers, and we would have brought the sickness to you.
Do you want to show the tape? Lily's asking about the tape. Do you have the tub?
Yes.
The lid?
Let's show the lid of the tape.
It's called
yes,
tape.
we would have definitely brought the sickness. There is the tape. It is called frog tape. We get it from our local paint store up here in Canada, but I know it's available in Home Depot and many other places. We use the yellow version. There's the yellow and there's a green version as well.
There's a blue one too.
There's a blue one too as well. We use this one because it has the best glue formula that doesn't leave any residue on the back of our pieces or anything like that, and you can also leave it for longer. I believe the green and the blue have stronger glue, and the longer you leave them on, the more they actually bind to a surface, and they will leave residue when you pull them off. That's why we use these ones. Now, before I resin, I usually leave my pieces at least a week. Some people say longer to cure, but at least a week and it's really going to be fine. But there we go. So these are the two pieces we're going to do.
If you use silicone in your painting,
if you use silicone in your painting and you want to resin, you have to clean the paintings very, very thoroughly with alcohol and a lint-free cloth. Also, I've heard baby wipes are really good, but you've really got to thoroughly clean them.
You really run the risk of getting fish eyes.
Yeah, you'll get little fish eyes, little dimples in them and stuff like that. Now, they can be removed by cleaning again, sanding again, and then flood coating again, and they can be removed. But yeah, that's why a lot of us don't use silicone in our pours, because we want to resin, and it just makes it very, very difficult. Okay, so first thing I want to say is, or show you is, this is the resin we use, is magic resin. This is part A. There's two parts, A and B. One is thicker than the other. We mix the thin, we put the thin one, measure the thin one out first. You see how thin the thin one is, Bingo? We measure the thin one out first, and then we add the thicker one to the thin one, because that's the easier way of mixing two things. Now, I did want to just mention that it even says here, right, in the mixing guide to magic resin, it says, you've got to also, very essential ingredient is, along with the mask, is some gloves as well, because we need to really protect ourselves, because this stuff isn't friendly. So what I'm just going to do first is move these two bits out of the way, and we're going to get to my little baggie here. Cover up the logo. I'm sorry, guys, but yeah, I don't want to get resin on my mat. I know I can get it off, but it's a lot easier to just, not get it on the mat. Now, Vanna, in the bathroom behind you, there's a little stack of 8 pots, little 2-ounce pots. I need them just to raise these off the table. There we go. Sorry. Okay, guys, now what I do with these little resin pots, I've got little bits of kitchen towel just to pad them out. Just because, the resin on the other side or the pour on the other side might not be completely cured yet. It's dry nicely, but it's not cured yet. And sometimes the weight, especially if you have resined on the other side, can leave little ring marks from the top of these pots. So that's another top tip, is we use little bits of kitchen roll just as a little pillow, okay?
Magic Resin is the only brand of resin we've ever used, Jody.
Hey there, Jody. Yes, there you go. It's a brand that Vanna ordered online from Amazon and had great results with it, and never, you know, when you found something that works, you know, it ain't broke, so, you know, you don't fix it. Excellent. So there's our two pieces. Now, as I was saying, it says when you mix, if you're mixing in the cup, mix 250 ml of A with 250 ml of B, so equal amounts, okay? Now, I found if I do that, the resin never actually cures properly, and you can almost like leave little dimples with your thumbnail in it. And that's not what we want. This is tabletop and art coat resin, so it's for doing tabletops. We want it to, you know, be like this. Sorry, where we go? Oh, I've already taped it up now, damn. There we go. We want it to be like this. You see how hard it is? And look, I can put my finger in it, my thumbnail right in it. It is not leaving any indentation. It's bulletproof. That's how we want it. Now, it says here, even here, if you're measuring by weight, the ratio is 100 of A and 85 of B. Now, I know they may weigh differently, but I find if you've got magic resin, do it this way. Mix slightly more of A than you do of B. Put slightly less of B in. Now, A is the thick one and B is the thin one, okay? So you want to put in less of the thin one and a slightly more thick one, and that will then leave you that absolutely, look, you can hear it, it's bulletproof, you see? So that's what we want to do. So if you're using magic resin, you go by weight, not by the equal measures, because it doesn't work for you. Okie dokie. So we have got our resin right here. We've got our two pieces right here. And we have got our mixing cup. Now, as I said, 2 ounces is enough to redo this one and pour on this one. So 2 ounces each. Okay, guys, so I'm going to mix up 4. I use the solo cups because they've got the little bump, bump, bump measures on the side. So here we go. Let's just put this straight there.
You are,
What's that?
you're on your data, right? Not on the Wi-Fi?
No, I'm on Wi-Fi.
There's a few people having issues with their video. I'm not having any issues, but I'm worried if you change it now, will it mess up your live?
I don't know. Let me just see.
We're quite far from our router here in the studio.
Bingo! How is that? I'm
Hopefully
so
not.
sorry,
Someone's
guys.
having issues with video.
I am so sorry. I forgot to turn it to data, not video. Dope. Anyway, so really important, guys. We need to now put our gloves on. And we need to get some bigger gloves than these mediums, and
They're too small for you.
they're a bit too small for me. But I will get my big old mitts in them somehow.
Well,
There we go. Perfect. So here we go. Excellent. So I'm about to put my mask on because I'm gonna start mixing, okay, guys, and I'm gonna show you how much, and I'm gonna try to talk as clearly as I can, as slowly as I can through the mask so you understand me. But I'm going to be mixing. I've got to mix it for at least 2 minutes or more, maybe about 3. So if you're re-watching, you might want to just forward this little bit, but you know, you could listen to me chatting through the mask and sounding like Darth Vader.
I like it when you sound like Darth Vader.
But here we go.
Just speak extra loud.
This is it. I really wanted to get you a mask as well, Vanna, so you could, you know.
Really?
No, you won't. Absolutely not. I am banishing you. As soon as I open those, as soon as I start mixing these chemicals, you're banished.
I am not letting you stay in here with these chemicals.
Make
No
sure
way.
you talk really loud.
Oh, well.
It muffles your voice a lot.
I know. So if I need to talk slower or more clearly or something, bash on the wall.
Okay.
Vanna's going next door to the kitchen. So thank you, guys. Okay, so we're going to mix. As I just said, slightly less of the thinner one, number B, and slightly more of the A, because that's the way we get that super hard, beautiful finish.
Okay, so here we are. I can see my little marks on this side just here. So, as I said, we use the, right, okay. We're really okay until we start mixing the two. So there we go, that's, oh, that's the part B. Now we want to put in, now it's 2 ounces of the B, or just slightly under 2 ounces of B. And I'm going to put just slightly over 2 ounces of the thicker one, A. Bingo. And you don't need to go excessively over, as long as you've just gone slightly under with the thinner part, B. Just go slightly over with the thicker part, A, and it will be fine. Okay, so now we've got to mix for at least 2 minutes, guys, okay? At least 2 minutes. If you've got if you're mixing more, you should mix it for slightly more time. You know, if I was mixing up, say, the whole cup, say 16 ounces, I'd mix it for a good 5 minutes. But where we're only mixing up 4 ounces here, 2 ounces for each one, we only need to stir it for about 2 minutes or so. So I'm not being counting. Usually I count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. But I'm going to ask Vanna, hopefully if you can hear me, Vanna, give me a knock on the wall in 2 minutes. Count 2 minutes for me, darling. But yes, I'm mixing this away from my face because the vapors are now coming straight up and out of this, and we don't want to be like mixing it, you know, looking right over it, even with our mask, because, you know, again, this stuff gives us a fantastic finish, but you've got to really treat it with respect, because, you know, these toxic vapors it releases are very, very dangerous to you. They can really hurt your lungs. Sounding like Darth Vader a bit. I hope you can understand me, guys. If it's pointless and you can't hear me or understand me at all, tell Vanna, and I'll get Vanna to go knock, 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 knock on the wall, and that will just mean shut up, Si. No one can hear you. But anyway, so we're stirring, 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 stirring. Make sure to scrape right around the edges so you get everything there. And you can see it's nice and thin, it's already clear. Because we're mixing up just such a small amount, it really doesn't need to be stirred as long as it says on the instructions. Unless, like I said, you're mixing up a large amount. So, just, oh, hang on. I laughed and now the edge of my mask has come off. Ah, we can hear you fine, says Vanna. That's great. Okay, guys, so here we go. Just going to stir this. Mixy, mixy, mixy. So yeah, I hope you guys, please let us know in the live chat if you've found our 10 tips and tricks to perfect resin, the ultimate resin video, if you found it educational and helpful so far and has answered some questions for you and some queries you may have about it. And I'm not saying that, you know, this is the only way to do resin or anything like that. This is just the best way I have found to do resin, especially if you're working, you know, in a house, in a spare room or something like that. Because it's really can be difficult, especially if you've got pets, little fur babies that leave their fur everywhere. But yeah, I hope you found the show entertaining and informative. Hello? Perfect, thank you, darling. There we go, 2 minutes, so we're good. And I can feel it's nice and warm. It's already nice and warm because I had the resin in some warm water. Excellent. So I hope that's nice and straight and in focus. Is it? Let me try and touch the screen. Bingo! So what we're going to do is literally flood coat it. So we're going to go boom, big pour. Okay. So then I just wipe the edge here because we are going to get our fingers in it. Now first, I'll show you on this one. First thing I kind of do is I move the resin around and kind of just get it kind of a nice even coat up and down like that. And then literally holding one edge, you get your fingers in it, and I literally just mush it around to the edges. Now we've got a little bit more here, so we just kind of push up a bit there, push up a bit there. And yeah, this is why we use the gloves, guys, because we cannot get this stuff on our hands or on our skin. Really, I should be wearing long sleeves, but yes, this stuff is very, very nasty indeed. If it gets on your skin, it's very difficult to get off, and you cannot use things like alcohol or cellulose thinners or anything like that, because it really, that will just help this stuff penetrate into your skin, and it's really not very good at all. So there we go. As you see, I've mushed it around everywhere, kind of made it as even as I can. Now what we do is we move over to this one. Now I know we've taped up the edges, but if we're doing the other side for the first time, what I do is just dip my finger in the resin, and I just resin the edge like this, get a nice coat on it first. This is also helpful because it will seal the edge of the tape. But by getting a bit of resin on the edges first, really helps you easily get that beautiful finish on the edges. So there we go, that's that one. So we are just gonna, bingo, flood coat that one. And we've still got a little bit left in the bottom here, which is great because we're going to need that to drizzle around the edges and flood the edges, so we get that really nice finish. So I'm just going to do the usual tilt. But yeah, you can use varnish rather than resin. We prefer resin just because it gives you such a gorgeous, just like, especially when you do the flood coat or the flood coat method, where you just bang, get it done in one. Absolutely swamp the thing in resin, and then you get that beautiful kind of jewel finish. So there we go, just moving it back into the middle. But again, it's not essential, because when we torch the resin, it will again increase the temperature of it, and that also helps it find its own level. That's the other reason why we torch it, is to get rid of the bubbles. But resin itself is inherently self-leveling, so as long as you have it on a perfectly beautiful flat level surface and you flood it, as I've said, with enough resin, you've got the best chance of getting a flawless finish in literally just one go. Okay, so one thing I do is just kind of get a bit of, I look at the edge, I look at the resin from 45 degrees with the light reflection, and you can see any little spots where you just kind of missed a little bit. or there could be a bit more resin on the edge, something like that. But there we go. So now this is the important bit, to get the beautiful edges, the beautiful jewel-like edges. Let me just move these over a bit. There we go, so I can get to either edges. It's the drizzling around the edge. So get the stick, a nice load of resin, and literally you start at one edge and you flood it. Just keep going backwards and forwards like this. Get another bit on this edge here. It doesn't matter because we've masked up the edges really beautifully. Any excess will just flow over the edge and not be a problem at all. But where we do this, by drizzling these edges, it gives you the best chance of getting just a fantastic coat of resin. So there we go, you see, that's really, that was a bit excessive, that first one, I guess. But there we go. So you just drizzle it right along the edge, right along that edge. So now we've drizzled the edges here. We are now just going to, with our gloves obviously, gently just run your fingers along the edge and along the bottom, just so you can wipe off any little drips you see, and wipe them off on the cover. Just move that over here. Awesome. Now, just going to do the same on this one, even though we've taped up these edges already. Just do the same, just so it gives, you know, gets rid of any excess strips, because the less resin we have on the other side on the tape, the easier it is to get off. Now I can notice just here, again, now I'll look at 45 degrees. I can see there's a little bit, there's a bit of a dimple here, so I'll just add a bit more in the middle there. And then with what's left, again, just drizzle it around the edges. And as you can see, we've got maybe, I don't know, ½ ounce of resin left. So we always want to mix up slightly more than you think you need, because as with acrylic pouring, there's only one thing that's worse than using too much paint or having too much resin, and that's not having enough. So mix up slightly more than you think you'll need, and you can cover the pieces beautifully, and you still have a lovely amount here to keep drizzling all around the edges. Because again, as long as the surface is beautifully flat, this is just going to dry like an absolute gem, with a beautiful kind of glass jewel-like finish to it. Now, when we've mixed up this resin is still workable and good for at least a good hour or more. Well, no, sorry. For at least, I believe it says it's good and it has it's usable for either 40 minutes or an hour. I can't look at the little instruction thing now because my hands are covered in resin. But there we go. Beautiful, looks fantastic. Now, I've tried to train myself to now just trust and leave it. But I just can't trust and leave it. So after doing this, what we're going to do is just, right, with one of our clean fingers, I just hook it without touching my skin underneath my gloves, gently peeling it off. Now I'm not going to, here you go, gently peeling the glove off. I'm not going to peel my glove off over these because I've got furry arms and I don't want the hair to go in them. But holding the one glove you've just peeled off, grab the other glove, make a fist, and then pull the other glove off, leaving a nice little packet of all the horrible sticky inside, and you throw that away. Excellent. Now, we're going to use the torch. So set the torch on high, and it literally, all it is this. Bingo, that's all you need to do. Again, I will look at 45 degrees and just see if I can see any little bubbles. But again, I'll just give it another go. Now, you can see the end of the flame here. I let that just get near the actual resin. I don't let the blue flame touch the resin because you're going to burn the resin and you don't want that. But there we go. That looks pretty darned amazing to me. So let me just... I'm just going to pick up what's left of the resin, okay, because there's still a little bit left in there. And that resin will be good for at least half an hour or more still. It will be usable. Now, what I'm going to do is now gently, bingo, cover the two resin pieces with the tote. Bingo, hi there. And now we're back. Fantastic. So, I've covered those with the tote now, okay? Oops, sorry for it being a bit waggly there. There we go. Covered it with the tote. So, I now try to train myself to leave it and trust that it will be fine. But what I do, set a timer for 20 minutes and I'll go out. And the other good trick is obviously with the zero air movement. Rule number 3 in how to get a fantastic coat of resin is when you go in and out of the room, do so very, very slowly. Open the door and just creep in inch by inch. So, because when you open doors, that really creates air movement. And if there's little bits of dust, that'll kick up and possibly go in your resin, which isn't a problem if you've covered it with a tote. But it's another good trick if you haven't got a tote to cover your pieces in. When you go in and out of the room, go in and out very slowly. And also, I know this is going to be weird, you mist yourself. So as you come back in, mist yourself like this, because any dander or bits of fluff that you've got on you will again be stuck to you and not come back in to the room, because I leave it 20 minutes, set a timer for 20 minutes, and then I come back in, carefully take the tote off, and then look again at 45 degrees. Sorry, I'm moving. Look again at 45 degrees to see if anywhere the resin has slightly crept back from the edges, or if you've got a little fisheye or something like that, because the resin is still warm, it's still workable. And I get the little drizzle stick, and again, I'll just drizzle more on those edges if they've crept back from the edges or there's a fisheye. Drizzle just a little bit in the fisheye, and then retorch it again. Nice and gently, but then you should get an absolutely beautiful flawless finish to your resin. So, there we go, my friends. Wilbur, hi there, Wilbur. Yes, we love a short king. I don't know. Just seen somebody come up. Hi there, Wilbur. Hi, Jodie. Hi there, Linda. Hi there, the Puss in Boots. So, guys, I hope you found this video really informative, educational, a little bit funny, amusing, but above all, helped you actually understand a bit more about resin, taught you a little bit more about it, and how you can get those flawless finishes of the actual resin. So, thank you so much. Yes, oh bless her. Janice is there. I will, but I really did. Thanks, says Jodie. Oh, bless your heart, Jodie. Thank you so much. So, we're going to be back in 2 weeks' time because we're bi-weekly now. Because after a poll in our Facebook group, the Acrylic Crazy Train, please join us there if you haven't already, the Acrylic Crazy Train. We did a poll and people came back with saying less is actually more. So we do a show now every other week. So we won't be next weekend, but we'll be the weekend after. Okay, my lovely friends? Green Rumour is here. Oh, hi, Green Rumour. Green Rumour is Larry, I think, isn't it? If I remember rightly. Thank you for telling me I did a good job. Thank you. Thank you, Green Rumour. Tina Wheaton, bless. Great job, Simon Vanessa says TLP. Thank you, guys. Thank you, so I've been waiting for the video, says Kathleen. Awesome, I'm so glad. I really hope it was good. And like I said, informative, educational. And we'll just, before we go, we'll just have a little look at what's on the wall, Frosty. All of these pieces are available and for sale. If you would interested in any of them at all, please send us a message, send us a direct message, and we can let's talk and work you out a deal. We ship anywhere in the world. So last thing I'm going to say is, guys, if you're watching for the first time, re-watching, and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button. When you subscribe, you can interact in the live chat here. You can leave comments and be part of the actual group and part of the fun when we do these lives. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you for being here. Love you all. And as always, happy pouring. Mwah. Ciao.